Hello, I'm Ricardo Arista, and I'm going to be talking about hidden curriculum based on the class readings and also the debate I had with my group. So this video is going to be broken up into three, technically two parts. The first part being how I see um, hidden curriculum based on the readings and videos. And then the second part is going to be how I think we can be politically proactive instead of reactive, along with how can we ensure ideology does not interfere or influence our decision making. So let's start off. The idea of hidden curriculum is an extremely interesting one. It's like the latent function of of the education that we get as students. It's the unseen and untalked about socialization. Um, What makes it super interesting to me is the fact that not everyone receives the same uh, hidden curriculum, that there's different hidden curriculums, and we can split hairs different ways in how we see the difference. But the way I focus in on it and I think about it is like through the lens of a conflict theorist, that different social classes of people receive different uh, hidden curriculums. Like people of higher social economic status receive an education that is more in line with leadership positions, whereas people of lower socioeconomic status are given less autonomy in their learning and less autonomy in general. You know they are often policed in schools, and that translates to how they are expected to conduct themselves in day-to-day life once they leave school, that they should police themselves, that they should be respect authority, whereas people of higher socioeconomic statuses are told to question authority, to make the rules, not follow the rules. um, Also, the idea that lower socioeconomic status people and minorities um, are receive an education that doesn't foster divergent thought. It oftentimes punishes divergent thought or and deviates it and reinforces social norms. So if we're reinforcing social norms, it makes me wonder, like, um, why are we reinforcing these norms? What role does it actually play overall? Who does it benefit? And it usually doesn't benefit the people that are being uh, told that they're divergent or that they're not okay, or that a certain questioning and behavior is not acceptable. And so that relates to language use. So if we think about language use in the United States, uh, the not being able to speak English is considered deviant. And maybe not in all cases, but oftentimes it's seen as you are lacking a skill or you're lacking an asset of being able to speak the lingua franca. And but being able to speak English and then learning a second language is not a defect. It's not a default. It's actually something to be praised. Whereas if a student who only speaks Spanish learns to speak English, they are not necessarily praised. They're just doing the bare minimum of what they should have already been able to do. Um, and so, how does that relate to our ideologies? Ideology is one of those things that I don't think that we can escape. So whenever the question was posed, how can we ensure our ideologies don't influence our decision making? That to me was a bit of an oxymoron. I thought it was a little hard because ideology is something that we all practice in. It's the lens that we see the world. It is bigger than ourselves, and our ideologies can change over time, and we aren't fixated on one specific ideology in all aspects of our life. But it's hard to escape that. So that's what made me think of like combining these two questions. So being politically proactive versus reactive, and finding ways to prevent our ideologies of influencing our decision making. The two ways that I think that we can accomplish both of those things is by having transparency, being fully transparent in how we create our curriculum, even being transparent with our ideologies. Ideologies isn't necessarily a dirty word. It can be, but being transparent is like where do we stand, and what do we believe in, and not giving too much fluff about it. So having that true transparency and honesty to the students and the parents that we serve, and also where the curriculum is coming from and who is designing it. And the second thing that we can do is maybe looking at how we see curriculum designing, flipping it on its head a bit. Instead of having, curriculum design in some ivory tower where no one knows where it's made or how it's made or who specifically is writing it, flipping it on its head and having curriculum designing that involves students, it involves parents, it involves all members of the community to come together to develop a curriculum that is standards-based, but also meets the needs of the community. So I think that's all. I hope I answered everything fully, and look forward to hopefully seeing other students' videos on this topic.